Okay, so wait, ask me that question again. So we're talking about, you've got a bunch of agents offering you different options of valuations. What questions do you ask them, or how do you know which one to believe or trust? Is that?
Yes.
Do you want to ask the question in your own words again?
So once I've asked them what their valuation would be, what then do I ask to know that they stand a chance of actually achieving that?
Okay, all right, brilliant. So let me give you some of the things that I think are warning signs that would put me off wanting to pick an agent. Okay, because I know from my own experience and being in this industry that the way to get the best price, and there's no exception to this, right? This is the only way to get the best price. You get an agent that really knows that market well, and you'll know the difference between those ones, right? Like some Johnny come lately will come round who's got all of the bump in there and he's really slick and sounds really charming and stuff, but actually you ask him deep questions about the local area and you can find out, you push and there are holes because he just doesn't really know. Someone else will come around and go, I've lived here for 20 years. I've been selling houses here for 10 years. I sold a house 3 doors down, 3 doors to Mrs. Smith, who you must know, right? And so you start to go, okay, this person actually lives here, actually knows it, has walked the walk. So you'll quite quickly know the difference, okay? That person that will say to you, if we put it on at just the right price, not too high, not too low, your property will appear to be a bargain. Not cheap, but compared to the other overpriced stuff, great value. And so all of the buyers who've been waiting for an affordable house or flat like yours, but have been looking at all the overpriced stuff for a while, will flock to this one quickly because they think, oh, there's one that's not too expensive. We can afford that one. We'll all come. And what happens when you get several competing buyers? They all want to secure it. They all want to be the one that thinks that's just come on the market. Someone's going to get a bargain. I want it to be me. And a really, really professional agent will already know who those people are. Like Lee and Roxy's agent said, I know I've got buyers who I can name who've been on my books for a while, who've fallen through on a couple of other stuff they've offered and didn't get. They are dying to move. They can move immediately. And that's why I know what they can afford, because they've already made offers that they've had turned down. Right? And so you can say, I've got 2 or more of those people who I could ring right now and get them to come around tomorrow to see your house. I don't know what they'll bid up to, because that's up to them. But I know I would be astonished if we didn't get at least X amount for your house. And we'll have that wrapped up before it even goes on the internet. Okay? So that's what an actual professional who knows what they're doing will do. And the reason a lot of those guys don't get instructed is because they say 185 when glossy, shiny suited Johnny-come-lately bullshit artist says, I think that's a bit modest. I'm pretty sure we could actually get 190, 200. Yeah, because we're such a big company. What difference does that make? None, but it sounds impressive if you don't know what, if you don't know anything about it, like, oh, big company must mean something. Don't know what it means, but it must mean something. We've got a network of buyers all around the country. We've got and it's all generic, vague bollocks. Not someone called John, someone called Mandy, who I've been showing houses for the last 3 weeks and they're desperate. Yeah. Like, I know who's going to buy your house. So these are you wouldn't know these telltale signs. Mm-hmm. Johnny come lately from the big corporate will say, he won't say this until you're at the point where you're deciding to sign up with him, will say, we do have a 12-week lock-in. Warning sign number 1, walk away. Walk away. Why the fuck do you need 12 weeks to sell my house? There are people who sell a house in 1 or 2 weeks. Why, A, do you need 12 weeks at all? And B, do you want to lock me in? All of the best agents I know and I've met do not have those tie-ins at all. Like, you're not happy, you need to be free to go. I am not going to win your business by locking you in 12 weeks, where what happens? There's only one reason. There is no other reason for tying people into a 12-week contract, right? The agent would say, well, we get a lot of vendors who they're not really sure they want to. We want to know they're committed to selling. Well, if they're not committed to selling, don't take their instruction on. Oh, well, if we're going to invest time and money selling your house, marketing it, we want to know we actually got the time to actually achieve the sale. Well, if you price it right, it'll walk out the door in the first week.
Yeah.
12 weeks equals no. No. Just get out of my house right now. 12 weeks equals you're going to do some viewings and then give me some disappointing feedback. Tell me I need to lower the price. I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to have no fucking choice because I've signed a 12-week contract with you. If I want to sell my house, because I'm now in the mind of going, okay, I've actually moved out in my head, so I do want to sell it. I am now stuck with either coming off the market altogether and not being allowed to instruct another agent, which, by the way, is what I would do. Right? If I, after 4 weeks, realised that I'd signed up with a bullshit agent who's locked me in for 12 weeks, but I don't think they can sell it at the price I want, I'd say just stop. Thanks to you, are you really going to make me not list it with any other agent for another 8, 10, 12 weeks? Because if so, I will tell everyone I know around here that that's what you've done. I feel that you misled me into going with you. I'm disappointed, pissed off. You've now made my property look like it's overpriced. And when it comes back on with someone else, it's going to look like a tainted property because I believed you at the valuation. You're really going to stick me to those 12 weeks? Sorry, I don't make the rules. It's just policies, company policy. I wish I could do it, but I can't do it. That's what everybody falls for. You only need 12 weeks to sell a property because either it's overpriced or you're incompetent or both.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something we need to say. And I will say I'm moving home with Charlie, right? Never. The only exception to this is if someone, possibly like Lee and Rox's agent, says, that is company policy, I can't get around it, but you don't need to worry because I promise you this is going to sell in a week.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can provide evidence to back up that really is compelling, I can't tell you their actual name, but buyer number one literally last week offered this price on this other house that's not as nice as yours.
Yeah, which they literally did in that example.
Yeah.
Friends of mine.
So that's the only exception where I would sign up because they genuinely convinced me and I actually trusted them. I looked them in the eye and trusted them. Because didn't he say, we are going to get you a record price for your house?
Yeah.
This is going to be the highest price a house has ever sold in this street. And stuff like that, if someone says it to you looking in the eye, it's like, that would be a punchy lie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they were slightly intimidated by, because it was a big brand company and they'd been with a smaller independent, but the big brand, but it wasn't the brand, it was the guy, and they were like, he's the one that's selling our house.
Yeah.
But he did
He's
deliver.
hungry.
He delivered.
He did deliver.
Yeah.
They got 30 grand more than they would have.
We're happy to accept. They got 30 grand more than the other agent had set their expectations at that they would have taken.
And I quote
And it's gone.
that they said with the new agent that they ended up choosing, that agent was hungry for their business and hungry to sell their house. And that's what motivated them.
Yeah. And this is right. It's a different. Every situation is different, but it's that in this case 30 grand better off. And no one, and this agent delivered on it. And it's that gap between Chris Miller-Jones's price expectation, Lee and Rox's price expectation, and what they actually got when using the best agent philosophy of choosing their agent. You use best agent, that's what happens. You end up being one of those lucky people. Can I keep going with my answer on this though? Because it's not, so 12 weeks is the 12-week contract tie-in is the first red flag. And unless they give you the exception, and again, you've got to be so careful not to believe the endless bullshit tropes that they trot out to make you fall for it every single time. But actually, if they've got such a compelling story that they have someone, that in Sam's friend's case, they did, right? The next, the ultimate thing to go on in the end is always gut feel. And if you don't get that gut feel, like, this person is absolutely not lying to me. This person is there's no question in my mind that this person is straight, honest, true, looking me in the eye and not lying to me. And my gut feel tells me that. my gut feel tells me I can trust what this agent. If you don't have that feeling, and most people don't get a really strong gut feel that this is the right one, don't sign with the agent because, oh well, I picked 3 at random and this is the least, which is what everybody does. Yeah. If you don't totally trust them to the point where you leave your kids with them, right? Don't sign with them because you are falling into that slippery funnel that these agents' marketing strategies operate. And they call it a funnel. And once you're in, down you go. But you know, you're right. No one who hasn't sold before would know any of this.
No. Which is why it's really interesting. I'm like,
You're going to be the next guinea pig. You'll be like, Sophie and I accidentally sell our houses through BestAgent.
Let me tell you a true story about one of the agents that I used to work with that used to sell almost everything he listed and became the #1 agent in a small patch in London, in southwest London, purely through reputation of his personal reputation, the fact that people started saying, this guy delivered. This guy delivered. He was a small independent with 2 offices. And in his second office, where he didn't work himself personally, was not. And this is, again, why don't trust brands. It's not about a brand, okay? It's about the individual. This guy owned and ran his business. He had 2 offices. One of them, he was the guy that went out and did the valuations and met the clients. In the other office, he had other people doing that, right? In the office that he worked, his instructed to sold or success ratio of delivering for clients was above 90%. He didn't know that. I discovered that because he used our software and I could see the results. And he was like, well, isn't that everyone's? Like, you know that's not other people. This is why you're doing so well. And this is why you're not doing so well in your other office because it's not you doing it. And again, it's the individual, not the brand. He owned and managed that other office remotely and would drop in on them once a day.
because is it normally an estate agent like office that would have a success rating?
Yes, yeah, exactly. It's by branch.
Yeah.
It's by branch. Now, I remember him ringing me up one day. I rang him one day. He was a client, and I rang him and said, "Hi, hey, how's your day?" He said, "I'm having it." He said, "I'm in such a bad mood, such a bad mood." I said, "Why?" He said, "I had a client. I sold this house to them. Right? They were a buyer. They bought through me. We got like a house on fire. He was happy with the service he received. He knows he paid top whack, but he knows that I was working for the seller. And I always knew that this guy, when it came time to sell his house, would put it on with me." He said, "We meet in the pub for a drink. We are friends. We became friends through that transaction. I've known him ever since, good friends, and there was never any question that he was going to sell me. And today, he rang me up and he said, 'I'm really sorry I've put it on with Knight Frank.' And he said, 'I'm just gutted. I'm personally gutted.' Not only am I personally gutted because it's not that I've been like, it's not that I've been lining him up for this. I genuinely thought we were friends. I genuinely thought he trusted me. And when I said to him, why? Why have you, please explain to me as a friend why you've gone that way. And he just went, because they're Knight Frank. Okay, so that's part one of the story. Part two of the story is, 6 weeks later or so, he rang me again. He said, "I'm feeling really stupid. They can't sell it. They're getting no viewings. I'm getting no one returning my calls, and I'm stuck with them. And I should have listened to you, and I should have come with you, and I'm really sorry, and I don't know what to do." And he said, "Well, they won't let you out there. They won't let you out of that 12 weeks. He said, best thing you can do is take it off the market now so people forget about it. Wait until your 12 weeks is up, then come back on with me." He said, "But now you've made my job harder. Now I've got a property that other people will recognise, because this is a slightly higher value. It's not so much of a bread and butter property. This was people are going to recognise. So we'll need to take completely different photographs, describe it differently, and try to make sure people don't realise it's the same property." And he said, "Well, don't worry." He said, "We'll sell it, but now I'm going to charge you 2%, not 1.5%, because you've made my job harder." And the guy's like, "Fair enough. I'm happy to pay 2%. He said, "And I really regret it. I feel like an idiot. I was totally sucked in by their marketing, by their brand. Oh, we're Knight Frank. Oh, we're this global company. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And yet, as soon as he signed their contract, he was just a number that they didn't sell.
Yeah.
And you never hear. Why do you never hear those stories? Because no one wants to publicly admit that they made that mistake.
Embarrassment. Ashamed or whatever, isn't it? But and again,
So it makes you feel a bit bad about your house, I'd imagine, being like, oh,
Yeah.
is it my property or is it the agent?
Because the agent would be going, oh, it's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
Beautiful house. We're going to get so much money for it.
Yeah.
That's what they all do. And everyone's like, you know, it's just. I saw an article last night. It's like dating. It's like when you go around to value a house, it's like on a first date. So all the right things.
Yeah.
Because you want to get the deal done.
Yeah.
It's just horrible. So
Same as dating. If you see one that's been on the market too long, you wonder what's wrong with it. It's like, nope.
yes, do you want the fresh blood?
Yeah.
There's content in that.
But I don't know how we solve this problem. Other than potentially putting together a compelling mini documentary that journalists see and just go, hang on a second, there is a story here.
There's. I wonder.
Anyway, I'm going to stop the video because I think that video on its own could be
Yeah.